FooRay and Chamba, the two hosts. If I may, I'm thinking that you chose the best thing. If you like them nerd shows and all of these movies. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat.
What up, Chipper Chaps? This is Chipper Chap Chat, episode 170.
170.
I'm FooRay.
I'm Chamba. Can you believe we're at 170 already, though?
That's bananas, but at the same time, it has to be hella more than that.
Oh,
right? Because
it's more than that.
Numbered episodes.
It's true. Plus, I was thinking before, I'm like, had we continued recording from when we took a break up until now, we'd be...
That's like a full year of video, so...
almost 2 years, I'd say.
Almost 2 years of video.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if it's a weekly, at least...
What's it, 52 weeks times 2?
100 plus.
videos
100 plus would be...
Episode 270.
270 or 270 something. That's crazy.
Yeah.
This is already crazy, though. 170.
But it's also, again, not including the non-numbered episodes we did and the like class act stuff we got pretty deep into. How many episodes did we do of the class act podcast?
I don't remember.
That was a grip ago.
That was years ago, dude.
We've also continually talked about getting Rob on for one of these. We should do it.
We should try.
I think that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, we should try.
Yeah. But anywho, we're gonna talk about some nerdy stuff.
Yes. First thing is the what was this?
Oh yeah, so so the rights for the Lord of the Rings were sold to the Embracer Group, which is like a game company, for $770 million.
That's some crazy money there, dude.
And as far as I know, that means they own the rights like full out. I don't know what that means for like the future of
the shows,
like the shows and stuff like that. I know I think they did some kind of crazy deal with Amazon. Amazon wanted to buy the rights full out too, but it was like it was like for like a couple billion or something.
You think they couldn't? I mean, I was gonna say you think they couldn't afford it, but it's Amazon.
At the time, I think they just didn't. I think the Tolkien people didn't want to sell it to Amazon.
But they'll sell it to the Embracer Group.
Right. I think
AKA
I don't know.
Amazon.
But could you imagine
if they did that? Yeah.
True. What if Amazon just buys Embracer Group?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, haha, we got it anyway.
That's smart. And they be buying game companies. They've definitely done it before.
What have Embracer Group made? Are they known for anything?
I'm not sure what their big claim to fame is. Embracer Group.
This is a big get, regardless.
It is, and I'm sure they're gonna make
games,
make their money back, and they're just about to put out that new show, and everybody's stoked for that.
Right.
Okay. Oh, so Embracer Group. That's why their name sounded familiar to me. Embracer Group owns a whole bunch of other companies that make games. So they own the people who make Saints Row, which is like one of my favorite franchises.
Can you imagine open world Saints Row style Lord of the Rings?
They did that. It was called Shadow of Mordor, and that game was fucking pretty great, actually.
Okay.
I don't even give a shit about that stuff. But they also did Goat Simulator, Duke Nukem, Tomb Raider.
Is that Goat Simulator?
Oh yeah, those kinds of games make me glad that you don't play video games, just so that you don't have to have any of that stuff in your brain.
Okay, cool. Because just the name Goat Simulator.
Oh yeah,
is already confusing to me. I'm like,
it's like nonsensical. You walk around as a goat, you jump on trampolines, you lick things.
Oh, so like within our like just suburban life, but you're a goat.
Yeah, but you're a goat. You walk around and do like, but it's also like part of why the people like the game is because it's like super broken looking. Like the physics are dumb. And the goat looks dumb,
is there one like that with a duck?
There is a Goose game.
Oh, okay. I think it was that
game's
one.
Actually like
A
really
game.
charming.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a video of that one. I'm like, I could get into that.
Yeah, that one's actually good. You might.
Okay.
I think you would like Goose King.
Okay, but-
Anywho, they own a lot of stuff. I
Okay.
don't know if they make anything themselves.
So they're like the parent company of a bunch of smaller companies.
Exactly.
And now they own
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Crazy that a company can own something like Lord of the Rings. Like it's not just still owned
Right.
by the creator or like the creator's family.
And yeah, I think the Tolkien estate is the one that made the sale.
And they're like, I guess it's no longer us. Like, are they going to still be involved at this point, or is it just
I think they just take their
Embracer.
770 million
and just call it done?
yeah,
Going home now.
live their lives until
I'm taking my ball and going home.
Yeah.
My
I'm
ball
giving you
being
my ball
70,
and taking
70, $770 million. That's my ball.
Yeah,
Pretty good ball. Pretty good ball. Next up.
Okay.
Like-
This one is confusing to me. I didn't even know this was happening until recently, but apparently they're making a sequel to R.I.P.D.
Nobody
called
asked.
R.I.P.D. 2 Rise of the Damned, featuring none of the original cast or director.
I was
So-
reading these show notes when you had popped it in there, and that the notes itself reads streaming service sequel.
Yeah.
You know, direct to stream sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Like
would that be an HBO property? Where would that one go?
Oh, HBO. Warner Brothers will not. I
Who
don't know.
owns R.I.P.D.? I don't even remember who put that one
I'll
out.
be honest, I don't remember. I'll be honest, I
would've
forgot this film existed.
I think it's probably for the better. I just remember it had a Buzz from Home Alone in it. As a big disgusting blob thing.
Yeah. He looked like an older Buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like even grosser somehow.
It's kind of. I mean, I think.
That's a Universal Pictures.
All right, so that's gonna go on like.
Do they have their own thing?
No. They might. I mean, everyone does at this point.
Yeah. It's
The
a
one
Dark
thing-
Horse book too, so I don't even know.
The
how
one
that
thing
would
I'm
work out.
noticing with like particular actors, like Ryan Reynolds, I guess fits that. He's not as bad as say Dwayne Johnson, where remember that one image where it's got like 4 images of Dwayne Johnson from 4 different movies, but it looks like they could all be from one movie. Have you seen that meme?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
But
it's-
that makes sense though.
it's a funny. Yeah, it's like 4 different movies. He just
I'm
looks like
betting
Dwayne
it's
Johnson.
like Jumanji.
Yep.
Rampage.
Yep. Any of these other ones.
That one with the helicopter.
Yep. And the one where he's an architect and he hasn't got a leg or something. Have you seen a movie?
It's like Tower of
Something like that,
something.
like skyscraper or something.
something like that.
Something like that. But I was looking at when I was finding the image of this R.I.P.D. I was looking at like screenshots from the movie, and it was just like Ryan Reynolds holding a gun, and I'm like, that could be a number of Ryan Reynolds movies.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of it does suck in a way, like when you can't really tell what movie the actor is in because they just look like themselves.
I mean, if you're that kind of actor where you just play dude number one,
like
over and
Jason
over
Statham or Vin Diesel, where it's just, or Dwayne Johnson.
I rewatched The One recently.
Jason
And
Statham's in there.
Yeah, it was weird to see like bald Jason Statham when he had like the bowling lanes hair, and it was
He
like,
looked
sort of
older.
Bruce Willis-y. He did.
It was weird. It was weird.
He
I like that
definitely
movie.
leveled up by Transporter. I like that movie too.
I like that
I was
movie.
really surprised.
Yeah, no, I
was really
enjoyed
surprised
that
my
movie.
girlfriend liked it because the effects are so dated.
They are very dated, but that movie's so cool.
It's also perfect for right now because the multiverse is so
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, this is like
And
pre that, man.
yeah, and this is a movie
Mm-hmm.
where you're traveling the multiverse,
Yeah.
killing versions of yourself to
Just
be
powering up.
Highlander
Yeah, I'm like, it's exactly, it's Highlander, but Jet
in the
Li, and I'm like,
multiverse.
I'm okay with that. That's dope.
That'd be a cool way to do that now. Bring Highlander back.
Just the multiverse, though.
Yeah, why not?
Like
They
I'm the
did that
one.
already, I guess, right? With the like they brought in the TV version, and
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember what it was called, but they did some version where they brought in like the TV Highlander and fucking Chris Lambert and did like some kind of in-game for Highlander shit, but I
That's
can't remember what it was called. And
weird.
they've got a new Highlander thing coming out too. I can't remember who's
They did an
starring in it.
anime. I don't know if you remember
Did
that.
you like that?
It was cool because it was animated from the guy. It was the guys who did Ninja Scroll.
Hmm.
It's visually
Mm,
sick.
is it similar looking?
Yeah, 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 yeah. You should look into it. So
I
about
will
this
have to look that up. Is that
R.I.P.D.
recent?
No, 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 no. This is a while back. This is like
Hmm.
early 2000, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So about R.I.P.D. 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange that it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who asked for this, or I don't know why it's still greenlit. At this point, you can. It doesn't even have to be. They could just call R.I.P.D. Rise of the Damned instead of R.I.P.D. 2 because by having the number
Yeah,
2 there,
just
you
don't
would
even have it be
assume
connected.
exactly. Because if it was just called R.I.P.D. Rise of the Damned,
Mm-hmm.
then it doesn't necessarily have to have complete affiliation with the first one because it works more of as a spin-off as opposed to a direct sequel. Because if either of those two leads aren't there, then it's not really connected in any way. It feels more disconnected.
That's why I wonder if the only reason to do that is either you're replacing them but still keeping those characters, which you can still just reboot it,
Sure, sure.
or you're specifically doing like a sequel that takes place in the same universe just in case they might come back or
But that's
something.
why a spin-off still works.
That's like that Men in Black International or whatever. Didn't they like not undo the
Yeah,
old Men in Black? I didn't
exactly.
see that movie, but
Oh, it's good. I
was
watched
it?
it on
I
the airplane.
I wasn't hopeful.
But
It
I
didn't
was,
look
an
great to me,
airplane movie is an airplane movie.
for sure.
I'm eating airplane food. I'm
Right.
enjoying a movie on a flight.
Sometimes it's easier to enjoy a movie via the
Sometimes,
airplane.
dude, sometimes it's just,
You've got
it's
nothing
more
else to focus
enjoyable.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah.
have I watched it since? No. But will I? Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. You know what? The chance is not slim. Let's say that.
Right. Oh, before I forget, the Highlander reboot is supposedly Henry Cavill as Highlander.
Cool. I believe that.
Yeah, that one's like in the works, I guess. And
Okay. I believe that. That one I'll
yeah,
believe. Cavill's great. He needs to be in more cool shit.
he should be because
Yeah.
if I'm being completely honest, even though I like the game, I haven't even seen the second season of The Witcher.
Oh, it's great.
Is it? I feel like I should watch it, but I haven't. And they had that like spin-off of The Witcher with like Michelle Yeoh in it or something. Haven't seen that either.
Oh, that exists?
I think so, or at least it's gonna. There's some
Okay, if
kind
it's
of
gonna, I like Michelle Yeoh. She's cool.
yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but there's
Oh,
some Witcher spin-off thing with like more creatures and shit.
cool. I'm down. I'm down. So it's
Um,
do you know any of the names?
of
The names that you had typed for this
Oh, the
R.I.P.D. sequel?
actors?
Yeah.
Not a single one.
Cause
And I just did it right then, so I didn't even
okay,
Google them.
because I was reading and I'm like, no name even jogs any images in
Mhm.
my brain.
Yeah.
Are you gonna watch this?
I mean, I think I only remember seeing sections of the first one.
Okay.
I know I think I did try and watch it, but I only remember little bits and I don't remember being fond of it, so probably not.
I'll be honest, it's
Most
kind of
likely
a
not.
this film, I mean the first film was pretty much like, I know you mentioned Men in Black, but it's
Hmm.
like Men in Black really.
Right.
It's a Men in
But
Black
that's
movie.
definitely what they were going
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
It's a Men in Black with ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's a thing, I guess.
Also, speaking of sort of one of these like spiritual successor things, did you like the movie Evolution?
I loved it.
I was confused why that movie didn't do better.
That's actually I loved that movie when I was younger, and to me that has great replay value. It's funny,
like
it's
it's
Ghostbusters like.
Exactly. It feels like a spiritual successor to Ghostbusters without
It's a Reitman film. It makes sense, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same director for sure.
I had a really good time. I loved the characters. The effects were sick. The idea was cool too, you know?
Do you think the cast killed that movie? Because it was such a weird
It's
cast,
a bizarre
even
cast.
for the time.
Yeah.
Like David Duchovny and Orlando Jones is weird in any time period.
And then you throw in Stifler.
And Stifler, right?
Yeah.
And
Which, don't get me wrong, it's weird. Like, that is an oddball cast. They
like
really
all of
work.
them.
No, they really worked on the screen though, which was the weird part to me. Because you'd never expect them. Yep. Julianne Moore is in there too.
In another one, they're all people I like. They're just I never would have thrown them in together.
Nope, but it worked. I love that movie. It's that one. Yeah, it doesn't get. It's very underrated, I would say. It's very underrated. But speaking of things we've watched.
Oh, here we go. We need a stuff we watched.
Yeah, I'll do a little. Oh, not a jingle. I'll just do a little image next time, because we're probably going to continue doing stuff like this.
Stuff we watched.
Like a TV stuff we watched. I don't know.
Right.
League of Our Own. League of Their Own.
League of Their Own. We both liked the original movie, right?
Growing up, awesome flick.
Yeah. That was one of those ones when you're a kid where you just, when you're bored, you just put on a movie because you have it on VHS. So you like constantly burning through the same movies over and over again. That was definitely one of them for me.
You know what's weird?
Randomly though, because I don't like football. I don't like fucking sports movies.
I was gonna tell you. I know you were like, it's one of those random films that you'd pop the VHS in and watch. For some reason, couple of sports related flicks though. I'd like this, Rookie of the Year, Sandlot.
I love Sandlot.
Or baseball. Weird. Add Little Giants.
Ed O'Neill, right?
Yep. And Rick Moranis.
You know which random one that I like that definitely doesn't age well?
Which one?
I liked Ladybugs as a kid.
I liked that as a kid. It's aged.
Rodney Dangerfield making his kid dress up like a girl so he can be cool.
Not acceptable now. Unless, of course,
unless that is their desire.
Yes, exactly. And it's not the butt of the joke.
Maybe they should remake Ladybugs, but like in an inspirational way.
I dig it. People will probably say, you're pandering. It's like, this is an actual proper remake.
Yeah, we just do it like a sort of like a Cobra Kai vibe.
Dude, get them to do it.
Like, yeah, sort of cheese but heart. That'd be interesting. Who would you get as the Rodney Dangerfield character?
That's tough.
Who's got to play the like slovenly coach, or old out of their league coach? It wasn't the thing in the first one. Is he like joined it to try and get with the mom or something?
Something like that.
There was something.
But he's got that sleaze to him. You don't have to have that sleaze now, I guess.
Right. You don't have to.
Who are like funny actors that aren't really? I wouldn't even get a big name. I'd get like Will Sasso or some shit. He'd probably kill it.
Will Sasso would be great.
He'd kill it.
Will Sasso would be great. Anyway,
that would be a fun family movie. Oddly enough,
I would 1000% watch it. But
A League of Their Own.
For some reason, I watched it hella, and so when I found out this was a series, which I feel like came out of nowhere, we might have talked about it.
No, I'll be honest. When you linked the trailer, I was like, when did they film this?
Right.
Like, because I have no idea when they even said this was going to be a thing.
Right.
And it's like, oh, it's done. Now, at least season 1, right?
Right. Season 1.
How many
done.
episodes?
I think either 8 or 10. It's
Should I keep?
It's. I think that it is worth a watch, if only as a fan of the original, to see the like interesting diversions and allusions to the old one.
Okay.
However, there are some things that are missing to me character-wise in this one. There's some characters I really enjoy. Like, if you can see the picture down here, the lady on the far left, I can't remember her name, but she's one of the main characters, like best friends. And
she's great. I already like her in episode 1.
yeah, she's a comic book fan and artist, and they show her work throughout it a few times. But I really like her. Pretty much everybody in it is really well acted.
Yes.
I just don't know that I like love the change in tone of what the thing is like, because the original movie was so like what is the word, nostalgic, I guess. Like they were very much like hyping it up to be like, they took their things feminism wise of like the guys were jerks and didn't take them seriously, and we're gonna prove them wrong.
They still do that.
And I think that's in the new series. It's just got a slightly different spin. It's a little bit more about their sexuality than it was in the original.
I was gonna say that from the very first episode, and I'm like, that's not a problem.
Right. And
it wasn't the focus.
Probably comes from doing it on like a streaming service too.
Probably.
You gotta spice
it up a little bit. Add a bit of spice. I think it's filmed nicely.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look cheap. That's the good thing about this. This looks like, okay, we intend to make this look pretty authentic, at least.
Mm-hmm.
The costuming, the hairstyles, the accents, the voices.
Right.
The language that they use, it was great. But yeah, I see what you mean. Like, even just from I only watched 1 episode, and I definitely, like, just from the first episode, I'm like, all right, they're definitely amping up the whole focus on sexuality. Not necessarily that women alone are mistreated back then, but also that they're not all what they were made to be, basically, back then.
Right. I think, and I'm sure, like, I feel like they could have gotten away with a version of this show where and even though it is that way, I feel like they could have gotten away with a version of the show where you just have a couple of characters that are dealing with that.
Mm-hmm. But is it like a majority of them at this point?
It's not the majority of them, not at all. But I think it's just it's a big chunk of what is talked about. So I think it feels like
I see.
It's a bigger thing on the team than you would imagine.
Right.
But it still is really only a few of them. But it's still like
it's there.
Yeah, it's definitely a focus on something they wanted to talk about.
And you know what? That's cool.
I think that's good.
That's great.
Just a surprise, because I would say honestly, it's probably like I feel like I'm being generous in saying it's like 35 to 40% of what the show is about.
It's not like what I expected from the premise.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't have called it
A League of Their Own.
There's still enough characters in it that are likable that it brings you.
I still think it's likable. Like, you can do all that and still be likable.
1,000%.
Just the whole, I mean, whatever they already tackled from the film, which was obviously, everybody being sexist then, essentially. Like, women should be in the kitchen, women should be married, all that type of stuff. Now they're obviously focusing on that, plus there's racism issues, there's more sexism, plus sexuality. So they're just throwing in more things, which I guess makes sense for these days, because that's what they're exploring more. in just general, you know, in media.
And I think it was something that they only hinted at in the first movie.
In the movie, yeah.
Or in the original movie, they only hinted at it, and so it makes sense to want to explore those things.
For sure.
Even the co-lead character, the chick in the blue outfit, I can't remember her name in the show either, but she also is like, if you watch the original movie, there's one scene where they like a ball gets knocked out into the field. I think it's during the tryouts or something, when they're picking all the girls and Gina Davis, and you meet all of them, and the ball gets like knocked out into a field, and then a group of black women walk up. They're kind of at the edge of where the tryouts are happening, and one of them picks it up and like throws it back to them, but throws it like crazy far and crazy fast, and like hits in the rafters or something. And they said, you know what, let's take that little tiny piece of that movie, that one scene, and make a whole character out of that, and make that like, you know, the co-lead of the show. Which is just interesting to be like, one of these characters basically can't be on this team.
Yep. That's why it's
like historically.
Exactly. That's
we're
the
just
thing.
Gonna make that a part of the story anyway.
Where it's like, now it's 2 stories, which is cool because now you can explore that because it's a series.
Right. You got more time.
There eventually, it has to cross though. I mean, again, I haven't seen the series, so you've seen this entire season, so it's got to eventually cross somehow, even though historically that kind of happened. That's the thing.
Right. They figure out ways on how the stories kind of keep intertwining.
Okay.
But I'm very curious for that
moving
part
forward
of it, on like how you do that. Where do you go season 2?
Right. That's my thing, because I'm like, it's like I've seen this in other shows. All the like, I don't know. You've never seen Doctor Who, right? Doctor Who is a British show. It's actually a kids show, which people tend to forget. They go back in time. It's kind of time travel type stuff, but they always play with, you know, particular characters, races, and stuff all the time. And
aren't they just now getting a black Doctor Who or something?
Yes, which is cool, but historically, it will never make sense. Still, like he can't go back to say,
well, yeah, he can't just do whatever he wants.
Go to ancient Greece and be cool with that.
Right.
And that's why it was always weird. Like, I understand it's cool. So I mean, like with 2 brown guys speaking about this, so it's always cool to, you know, to have representation in the shows. But then, if you're gonna be talking about history and stuff, it should be a little bit accurate.
True.
Do you know what I mean? You can't. It's not a fantasy. I mean, sure, it's time travel. That's sci-fi fantasy. But if you're talking about history, at least have a bit of reality there.
Unless like that is part of what the show is about, is how it's different, like Watchmen or whatever, where they're like, you know, a different president happened in the 70s, and where does that make things
that's
go?
Different. Well, that's different. If it's not like, if it's a reality, it's a history that you're creating, then that's completely different. But with like certain shows that they go back in time, and it's like, all right, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like, what's that?
What's that? Inglorious Bastards, everything.
Exactly. Like, what's that popular Netflix show? It's like old timey.
Time travel?
No, it's not time travel. It's like based in the old times. They got like big dresses and shit like that.
On Netflix?
Netflix.
Are you talking about like Downton Abbey or something like that? That's not.
It's something Netflix, like that. It's not Netflix, but it's something like that. But yeah, it's like that's based on a period of time where it's all white, because it takes place in like fucking France and back in the day. You know, the only people that are color are the slaves. But then in this fictionalized version, I guess, you know, it's fantasy, because it's like, yeah, we got Asians in here, we got fucking every other races.
I remember they made a big deal about them doing that in the Lady and the Tramp reboot thing they did for Disney.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it.
They like did the 50s or 60s or something, and
Right,
there's
right.
an interracial couple and
Right,
some
right.
other stuff, and they just go like, no, in this world, racism's not a thing.
Then you know, like that, and that's fine. Like if that's a thing that's there, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna be, if you want to tell a story that's supposedly accurate to the time, play with that. You have to work
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's kind of what they like here with the League of Their. It's kind of they're not like. It's not like a fantasy. You know,
Right.
there's still segregation. There's still separation amongst the people.
And that too, like that was one of the things too, is they deal with they're dealing with sexuality in a way that I'm sure took place.
Mm.
But I think everyone speaks, especially in particular the ones on the team, on the Peaches team. A lot of them speak very like modern.
Yep.
Like I feel like the chick, the main chick from Broad City, she just sounds like her.
Yeah.
And I don't 100% know if that makes sense with the character she's supposed to be playing.
Of that time.
Right, of that time.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's not the only one that felt like that to me, but
No.
but her in particular,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like there was no effort made to be
No.
anything different than what she already
Right.
plays.
That's kind of the part that's always tricky with period pieces. Is that always, and that really does throw me off whenever I hear modern vernacular of a, like, even if it's say in the 80s, if someone's talking the way they talk now, you can still
you
tell.
can tell the difference.
Yeah.
For sure.
But when it's like the 50s, oh, you can't talk. There's no way.
Yeah.
Like even even if you're gonna cuss, it's also the kind of words, the cuss words that you're using are very specific to the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that part really does.
Got to pay attention to those details.
I think so. Like I get it.
Well, I'm curious once if you end up getting through more, what you think by the
Yeah.
end. If you feel like you'll stick it out, or if you feel like you kind of.
If I am, I'm gonna pace myself.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because right now, I watched the first episode. It was good, but I don't know if I give a shit. That's the thing. And I hate forcing myself to watch stuff right now, because if I'm forcing myself, I'm definitely not gonna like it.
Right.
Because then it feels like a chore at that point.
Yeah, I think that there was, I don't know what it was, but I think there's the love of the original and seeing the things that were changed.
Right.
And then over and over, I think in my brain that sensation that you're talking about, I kept having to go back and forth of like, are they winning me over? Do I like this, or do I dislike this for the changes it's making? Can I dislike this without that meaning something bad about me?
Right. Well, I don't think it's that. Like, I'm not comparing this right now to the original. I'm just taking it as it is, and as entertainment, as pure entertainment, because I mean, there's so much entertainment out there right now that we have too many options.
Yeah, it's strange too, just because it would be like comparing it to Sandlot. It'd be like if they remade Sandlot, but they made it like a story about there's a black kid on the team, and it's all about his racial place on the team, and like the other kids don't want to touch him or something because he's brown or whatever.
That's not Sandlot anymore, by the way.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like you can make that movie, and that movie might be good,
but it's not Sandlot.
It's just not the same thing. Like maybe that's, I don't know. Like I guess like the Wonder Years reboot. That's them going like, okay, what's this like from a black family's perspective or whatever. That can be interesting.
Is it the Wonder Years?
Especially in that.
It's a reboot.
I don't know.
Yeah, like it could have been like, are you relying on that the name because that's essentially the concept of it, or are you relying on it to jog the nostalgias of the people that like the original?
That's a good question too. like I feel like with the Wonder Years one, that show was about a family in that time period.
Mm-hmm.
So you going like this is the show about family in that time period. It's just a different family.
Yeah.
I can kind of get behind that because it doesn't change what the tone of the show is necessarily. Whereas uh it's almost like the Fresh Prince reboot maybe is a more apt version of that because
I was gonna
that's
I
like
was
them
gonna mention
taking
that one.
something that's funny and more whimsical that had dramatic elements and being like, nah, just let's do the dramatic elements.
And to
So
me, that's a no.
yeah, that is, and that's not necessarily what's happening with A League of
Yeah.
Their Own. I think it's still funny.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
it
it
does. It still
just
has
is
humor.
lacking some of the fanfare or the grandiose nature of the original movie. Everything was big, even though it was a movie about a bunch of girls playing baseball. It was very big the way they told the story, like
Yes.
trumpets blaring,
Mm-hmm.
swing dance music.
It felt of that era. It was kind of like
Right,
a movie of its representing that time, but also depicting what we remember of film that time.
right,
Bigger.
and I think the music even in this one feels different. It feels more modern, even though it's still music of that time
Mm-hmm.
period for the most part that I can tell.
It's too
The
clean.
choices feel more modern. Right.
A lot of it was too clean for me. I was like, okay. I
It's
don't know.
also weird to me that they didn't have like a similar character to the like Madonna character. The Madonna character in that original movie, like her whole thing was like, I'm empowered by being the
Yeah,
saucy one that wants to
exactly.
dance with all the boys and all this stuff. The
That
boy crazy one.
that one on the bottom to the right.
Right.
She's kind of like that.
Sort of. They kind of mixed her with the visual of the Dottie character from the
That's
original
that's what
movie.
I was like. Her personality, at least based on the first episode, she's giving a little bit of that off.
Right. But
Not to the extent.
right. I would say that it'll feel a lot less like that by
Oh,
the end of it.
okay.
Like a
And
lot
you
less like
also
she's
mentioned
specifically filling that role.
the lack of the Tom Hanks character.
That one still bothers me,
Yeah.
especially because I got to the end of the season and it did not resolve itself how I wanted it to. But that one I'm really curious of what you think.
See, I'm like less and less now. I'll be honest, man. And when I saw in the trailer that Nick Offerman is in, I was like, okay, maybe he's
Right.
gonna be. And then
And
you were
I
like,
want to
no,
explain why that
you know what?
bums me out, but
By
I can't
next
do it without
recording,
spoiling.
had I
Yeah.
not continued, just tell me,
Right.
because
Okay,
I'm
sure.
probably not gonna,
Fair
you
enough.
know.
Maybe we'll just talk it off camera
Yeah,
because I don't know if I want to
yeah,
spoil it for
sure.
everyone else.
Okay, yeah, that's probably better. That's probably better.
All right. Okay,
But
what's next?
next up is Prey.
Okay, so I guess A League of Their Own was the first of these where one of us has seen it and the other one hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Sort
haven't
of.
seen Prey yet.
Oh, you haven't, bro. I ain't gonna spoil
No, so,
nothing.
okay. I've only heard positive things.
I think the only thing we'll spoil is
Mhm.
the thing that both of us have watched.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
So Prey. It's
Yeah.
a Predator prequel.
Right.
You're probably aware of this.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. I've again heard nothing but positive things.
I have heard some I have mates who I grew up with didn't
Mhm.
like it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I wonder why though.
I heard some of their stuff, and I'm just like, whatever, man. You guys are dumb.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
when
toast.
I saw the trailer for this,
Yeah.
I was like, this shit looks tight to me. My one issue is it's weird to me that they all speak English.
Oh no. See,
But then I found out that on Hulu, I can watch a version of this where it's all Comanche. They
I watched
filmed
it that
every
version.
scene over again where you can watch it in Comanche.
I
So I
watched
want to
it that
watch it that
version.
way.
I think it's
Yeah, to
dubbed.
me, from what I heard, they said they
Oh, is it?
refilmed everything, but
Okay,
I
well,
don't know.
I watched either way. I loved it.
Yeah, I want to see that version. To me, it sounds great.
Loved it.
I like the design from the little bits I've seen.
It's cool, dude.
Yeah, I want to see it in the high def though.
See, it's like without spoilers.
We might have to do a second one where we talk.
Oh yeah,
I know
yeah.
I'm gonna watch this, so we might have to do one where we
for sure. This one's gonna go quick because the other one I did watch an episode, even though you had watched the season. Right. This one you'd only seen trailers, and I've seen the film. This is my favorite sequel of Predator.
As even beats the one with Royce in it, because
that one I know a lot of people hate that one. Mm-hmm. I think that one's great because it just feels like Predator.
Right. That's why.
I like that one a lot. This one, I like it more because of how different it is.
Okay.
This one shits on too.
I'm already sold, but I'm definitely gonna watch this.
This one I had a lot of fun. Highly recommend if you like Predator. Give it a shot. There's probably things like. There are things people hate it. It's like, oh, it's a girl, and It's like I can't say anything without having to say anything for the film, but otherwise I love it. I love it. Next thing, which you also haven't watched.
Same deal. I haven't seen it. I know I want to.
Dragon Ball Super Superhero. I watched it like Prey. I watched it Japanese with subtitles in the cinema.
Okay.
Loved it.
Do we have the technology for you to be able to bleep something if I say something?
Oh yeah, I can do this.
Okay. Or just make it so they can't hear me or whatever.
No. I can obviously I can do this because
3 weeks later.
Okay.
No spoilers. If you follow Dragon Ball from Dragon Ball, this is it. It ties in all the way back.
Okay.
I love this. I loved it.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna see it, but I want to see it. I've got no one. I don't think that'll go with me.
Bring a girlfriend.
I don't think she's never even seen the old.
It doesn't matter. It's funny. No? It's funny. Okay. Watch a dub. Watch the dub one, just because it'll save it from having to read stuff. Are they playing
the dub one in the theater?
Yeah, they play dub and sub. It's actually harder to find the sub.
It'd be a hard sell, but I'll try. Because I really want to see it. I don't know how long it's going to take to.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know how long it's going to take for it to go on like Crunchyroll or something.
Right.
But I loved it. If you're a Dragon Ball fan throughout the ages, then this one's for you. This one's for you. And it's funny. It's funny. Like there was moments that I'd laugh without expecting it. Did not anticipate some of them. So I'm like, because this is plotted, designed, story, screenplay is done by Toriyama. So it's basically, it feels like I mean, look at the designs of those Gamma 1 and 2. That's just straight Toriyama.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like somebody else coming in and doing it.
This film is 100%. It's just, it feels like he's doing it again.
I still feel like those suits look like, even though I don't know how they're used in the movie, but they look like a reference to Saitama.
They're actually more of a reference to Cyborg 009. It's like an old retro design where they have like those. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's dope. But it's like, because Saitama is based off of, it's supposed to be a classic hero. Saitama's look is a classic hero.
The yellow and the... Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that one of them has a 1 on it.
Well, it's 1 and 2. So. The other one's got a 2.
Right, but it just... Yeah. I sketched these guys.
Did you?
For some reason I did, like a couple months ago.
All right.
It's just sketch, like very loose sketch. But I was like, I should show Jeff.
Maybe I'll link it.
Dragon Ball thing.
Link it in color or some shit. Collab.
There
Quick
you
collab.
Go. All right, so let's get into the thing that we both have seen.
It's the same images from last time. It's the 2 gifts. Right. I think I have to keep them. So SheHulk.
So now we've finally seen SheHulk episode 1. SheHulk Attorney at Law. What did you think of their first attempt at a half-hour comedy?
I liked it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit.
I liked it a lot.
Quite a bit.
I know people like, because I know before it actually aired, it was already getting like rating bombed on like IMDb and such. Because
Right.
They don't want a female-led show, I guess. Or some,
Yeah, the
whatever.
MCU.
Yeah.
Is
that what MCU?
Yeah, they think
Cool.
they're taking over with their woke lady stuff.
All right. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit.
I had a lot of fun. Her character's cool. The whole fourth wall breaking was.
I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't overly used. It seemed scarcely just kind of here and there, which I'm fine with. I'm curious if they'll explain that or if it's just going to be this is how this show works because some shows have that.
The CG was good.
I liked it. I think she looked great.
Hulk looked great.
Hulk looked great. And I had heard that this first episode was kind of last minute re-cobbled together, the pilot, because originally they weren't going to tell her origin story until episode 8.
That was fun though.
But they thought that audiences would need to see the origin. They even kind of work that into the writing, and they say, I think you guys need to see this origin before you'll get into this legal shit.
Yeah, and I thought that whole part is great because it feels more. She feels like a real person, if that makes sense, explaining her deal, her situation. Yeah, no,
I loved the Captain America
post-credit
virgin theory.
Oh, the whole throughout
yeah, and
how he's trying to get the story out.
The end credit scene was funny as shit to me. I loved that.
That was good. That was good. They cut it off at the right moment, but how she was like the whole time, and then in the end he's just like, all right. He's not. It's like
they talk about how they can drink and not get drunk. They only
metabolism
get buzzed.
Thing. Yep.
But it was weird to me that they still get like huge hangovers. Shouldn't it burn off all the alcohol so they don't even get hangovers either? Especially
she did turn back though. Remember, Hulk.
True.
When Hulk was drinking all that stuff, he was Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why he never felt a hungover.
Could be.
He never felt hungover, whereas she was like.
Yeah, I really want to know where they're going from here, especially because
with the alien thing. Also, the alien
thing too, because that was it was one of the ships from Sakaar. So I really like. Oh, also speaking of that, the ships from Sakaar thing gave me some excitement because I don't know if it's 100% true, but I had heard that the distribution rights from Universal end in 2023.
That means we're gonna get a Hulk.
It means that we can finally get a Hulk movie sometime after 2023, which means I wonder if they're gonna reset up some like Planet Hulk kind of stuff,
maybe
and
maybe do
a World War Hulk story, because they did. Even in this episode, they reiterated the fact that when he was on Sakaar originally, he was there for 2 years and remembers nothing.
Because he was Hulk the whole time.
Because he was Hulk the whole time. So he could definitely go back and be like, he made a baby and the baby's name is Scar.
The thing
especially because in the story, Scar grows into like full grown ass, like long hair, scary Scar.
Because it could be like whatever alien he bred with.
True.
That's so easy. Like what I just said then. Oh yeah, cool. That makes sense. It's an alien race. They just grow quickly. No. The thing about, I know, because a lot of the complaints online is like, oh, okay, she's stronger than Hulk, and it's like, well, it's Smart Hulk. It's also
true.
That's not Hulk. Like if
we're not getting the full thing.
Yeah, we'll never, unless he goes rage.
Right, which is why people would be excited about a World War Hulk story.
Yes, because then it's like, oh, you want to see destruction?
And he hinted at it too with the like, once they see you as a monster, that never goes away.
I like
there's
that.
There's still some harbored something there.
That's why, but it's cool that they made a point. It's like, she is different. Like, Bruce had to go through all that stuff, took him a lot longer, because they're both dealing with different things. It affected them differently.
So he got his arm healed.
Yeah, because
of the process of this, because of her
blood. Yep.
And they say that she can control it. She can kind of instantly do the Smart Hulk thing because she's so good at suppressing her emotions or whatever that
she's better.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
However, I wonder if, I guess, I don't know if they've written anything down specifically, but to me, it seems like an easy way to explain what goes on with the Hulk and why he's like, you don't have another guy in there is I think maybe it's the Hulk personality is like the Moon Knight character's dissociative
Mm.
identities.
That it is an
Like,
actual another being inside there.
When he hulked out the first time when the experiment happened, he went crazy and hurt Betty and hurt someone he loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that, like, because when it happened to her first time hulking out, she also kind of blacked out, but she didn't hurt anyone.
No.
She didn't do anything bad.
Mm-mm.
And I wonder if maybe that's a part of it is he disassociated with this
maybe
monster that hurt people he loved.
Maybe.
And I was like, that'd be an easy way to explain why his thing is different than like even Blonsky. Blonsky's just Blonsky when he's
he's just himself.
Exactly.
He's just a more powerful version of himself.
She-Hulk's not the unique one. It's Hulk is the unique one because his thing is around his weird trauma.
He is the unique one because injecting whatever he injected into himself to become the Hulk, if he had injected that into anybody else, probably would have killed him. And would have killed him.
It would have killed him, but that's why he was saying you and I, him and her, have whatever this
we're similar
genetic thing
sense.
is where they can both survive.
He got concentrated though.
Mm-hmm.
As much as he got a bit of blood into her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
His whole which again, if that was his blood into anybody else's, probably would have killed them. But thankfully, she survived because they share that thing. His whole body is that. That's why I'm like, in my eyes, I'm like, he just got a larger dose. That's why he's that.
But also, we've seen examples of his blood getting on people or in people, and it not turning you into a big superhero. Like in the Norton movie, he gets his blood in the soda bottles.
It just makes you sick.
Stan Lee gets sick from it.
Yeah.
But then at the end of that movie, his blood drips into Tim Blake Nelson's head.
And it started growing bigger.
And he started getting all bubbly, implying that he was going to become the leader.
Yeah.
Do you think that we get the leader back in this series?
I'd love the leader. I'd love Doc Samson. But I mean specifically
in these 8 episodes or whatever it is.
It'd be cool if it was hinted at the very end. Like something that happens.
I think it would be cool if they linked the leader.
The leader. You think you were asking if we're going to get the leader?
So yeah, I hope we get the leader back. You were mentioning his side character.
Yeah, it was Rick Jones. Rick Jones. Yeah. Have we ever got him in the live action MCU stuff yet?
I don't think that they've made any allusions to him specifically, but the Nega Bands thing that Kamala has on her bangle.
Okay.
When she switched place with Captain Marvel, that was kind of like an allusion to the Rick Jones character used to switch with the dude version of Captain Marvel in the old books.
Marvel.
Nega Bands. Yeah.
Right.
Now they've had Marvel already, and they made it like a lady version in that movie. So I don't know that they would bring him back and do that with Rick Jones now that they've shown Kamala use.
Oh, I'm just saying, just a Rick Jones.
Right, but now that they've shown that those Nega Bands exist, maybe he's got the other one or something. Who knows?
Maybe. I was just because if it's Rick Jones, he could do A-Bomb.
True. That was always just an interesting thing to me that they kind of did. They did another version of the Captain Marvel Billy Batson thing, because it's like instead of saying Shazam, he just smashes these things together, and then he kind of turns into Captain Marvel visually to anyone who's around when he does it, but he's just switching places instead. But yeah, I like A-Bomb. He was a cool version of the character or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know.
If he will fit.
We only just got regular Abomination
That's
back.
true.
So
actual a proper looking one at least.
right.
Yeah. I'd love Doc Samson. That'd be sick.
Doc Samson would be cool. I remember them kind of alluding to him in the old movie. It was the dude from Modern Family, I think,
The
was
dad,
supposed to be
yeah.
Doc Samson. Yeah, but he was like his psychologist or something instead. Yeah, what a strange.
Early age, man. Early days MCU.
But isn't it weird that that's technically still an MCU movie? Because they don't like it wasn't a movie that they made while they were calling the MCU, but it's still in continuity with that movie. Like he ends that first one by going to Brazil and like studying or whatever to better himself, and then the Norton one starts with him in Brazil like doing the meditation thing. They like goes right into each other. They even like the opening sequence of the Norton one is like a recap of the first movie where he's got the like machine thing that zaps him full
That's
of
why it's kind
gamma
of
rays.
like it's kind of an in continuity variant timeline.
Right. But it makes me wonder if like cuz they kept Thaddeus Ross. Like some of those things from the Incredible Hulk movie persisted, meaning that movie is in continuity, and if that movie is in continuity and the Banner one ended how it did, then does that mean like technically like Ruffalo's Hulk's dad is the absorbing man?
And that's why to me, like having the multiverse makes it so that all these ones exist, just not necessarily in our main one.
Nick Nolte back for the most random fucking Secret
We need
Wars
Hulk
cameo
dogs.
you could possibly have. The big green poodle and everything. Yeah, I don't know, man.
What's this show going to be about?
It's a half-hour legal comedy.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm really curious how all of it's gonna kind of fit together by the end. Like, how do you land this ship? Because we've already got the Hulk versus Hulk fight out of the way in the first episode. Which I really enjoyed.
It was
I thought
fun.
there was a lot of charm to that.
Yes.
I like seeing the bar that Tony and Bruce made together.
And how he got angry because the bar crashed. That was literally what put a stop to the fight.
Right. I liked that we finally got to see the Gamma Lab he spent 18 months in developing Smart Hulk or whatever. I wonder though, because when she gets out of the like razor blade cage, she like throws the door into the wall, and he's like, "That's like $1 million worth of damage back there." Who pays for that now that Tony Stark's gone?
I don't know. That's why I'm like, I wonder.
How do they deal with any of this shit? I'd be mad if I was him. I'd be like, I need this lab.
Yeah.
You need this lab.
Where does he get not just the money, the power, electricity, and all that? Where is that? Are we going to see more of him in the show?
How do you not? At least by the end, you've got to retie him back in, I feel like. Especially because they set up that, like, I don't know, some ship from Sakaar came to give me a message. I better go look into that.
That's definitely a setup for whatever he's got to do next.
But I just wonder, do we get a little bit more of that
from here?
Into this?
I don't see why not. Like,
I know how you don't touch on
the
him
whole
again.
Hulk reverting back to Marvel, to Disney once Universal's over. It's great news. I didn't know about that one. So now he doesn't necessarily have to be just included in other people's films, if that makes sense, or shows. This show doesn't look cheap, by the way. Like, it looks like you gotta spend money to do what you're doing already.
I think they said it's like $25 million budget per episode or something.
For a half-hour episode, that's wild. But I get it.
Man.
I get it. When your main character is essentially a walking visual effect. You know, and then on the first episode, your other main character is also visual effect. You know, I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of good laughs.
I heard that a lot of the reviewers and stuff were getting 4 episodes sent to them ahead of time.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, so I'm really, because I guess that'd be only about 2 hours, which some of their shows are about an hour. Yeah, they basically showed a movie at the premiere. Even they did a 4-episode chunk and let everyone watch it in one big go. So I'm very, very curious how the pacing and stuff will change as we get further along. Now that we're not like jumping into a flashback to show how she got her powers, where do we go? And we still know Daredevil's coming, so I don't know which episode.
How does everyone fit in here?
I'm hoping that Daredevil episode is episode 4, and that nothing that's in the trailers and shit is beyond what those 4 episodes contain.
That'd be good.
I want us all to be surprised by.
Heck, if he's in episode 2, tight.
Exactly.
The sooner the better, because I don't want to. Yeah.
I just don't want it to be after that. I don't want to be waiting for him to show up because you already showed me that he's coming. Because otherwise, I'm just like, where is he? Where is he, man? I want to see that yellow suit.
Yellow, red, whatever.
I want to see how it works in live action. But yeah, man, this looks good. I'm really excited about it. I hope that more people check it out and give it a shot and don't just go off of the like random internet hate.
Well, the random internet hate, it's like, that's what it's going to be. Like, it's, if you're not interested, then I ain't going to force you, because we just talked about some shows and whatnot today that we don't want to force ourselves, because there's more of a chance you're not going to like it because you're forcing yourself to watch it. But if you are a little bit curious to check this out,
yeah, I like
give it a shot.
The Game of Thrones thing, I didn't end up catching it. I went to go grab food and I didn't come back until the episode was almost over. So I caught the very end of Game of Thrones, whatever.
How was that from the end of it?
It looks well shot. And I saw a scene with the Doctor Who guy that's in it.
Matt Smith.
It looks well acted and well shot. I don't know if my expectations can be subverted again after watching all of the first Game of Thrones and being like the whole show is subverting your expectations. I don't know if they can get me again, but
and then ending like the way it did.
But Ryan and Adam, my roommates, saw it and they said it was really good and worth watching. So I might go and at least.
Well, if you give that a shot, I'll check one episode.
Yeah,
I'll check. I'll check.
We'll talk about the one and we'll see where we feel.
Next one, because this week, I mean, it's a Monday for me.
Right.
I'm gonna put this out either in a few hours, probably Monday morning for you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we're gonna record once we, next SheHulk's up.
Right.
So maybe I'll watch. Yeah, maybe I'll have watched. What is it? The Game of Thrones thing? Is that what it's called?
It's called like House of the Dragon or something.
I might check one episode out.
Yeah.
We'll
no
see.
harm in it.
No. There's more things to watch.
Exactly. All right. Well, that covers everything. So, until the next one, guys, stay chipper, chaps.
Stay chipper.
What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chap.